So you're a parent and you love your kids with all you got and you want to spend more time with them, but you can't because the job that you got and the routine that you're in, it doesn't allow for such things. You don't have the time to do it. How are you going to pay the bills, right? And it's not your fault that you're in this situation because this is just the way that it goes. This is the normal way to do things, right? And just this is what everybody else does, and so this is just what we do. But I got to encourage you guys today. I'm going to invite you to consider that, that is probably a recipe for the biggest regret that you'll ever have in your life is not finding a way to make it happen. See, we're led to believe that it's impossible because had we known early on getting into all this, that like taking upon debt and getting into a job we don't like and then like getting into a cycle and a career that's unfulfilling for us and knowing that, man, and somewhere in the mix, we're going to have kids and then we're not going to be able to escape it all because we got to pay the bills. We got to keep the hamster wheel spinning, right? None of us would have signed up for that if we would have known, but nobody knew because nobody was telling us. But we live in an incredible time right now, you guys. An incredible time where you can live free and you don't have to abide by the same rules, the same system, the same laws. You don't have to be caged in. You don't have to be stuck anymore. It's truly incredible, but it does require action. It does require action because, see, we can go for a day, a week, a month, a decade, doing the same old thing, right? Just the same old, the normal stuff, right? And we don't realize that those years, those precious moments are broken down into days. And those days, if we spend most of them in some office somewhere in a cubicle, we're literally slowly killing ourselves. And again, and sometimes it feels impossible to escape, right? Because there is no clear guidance, no direction, we see that people do it. We know that it is possible. But for us specifically, personally, in our own lives, how are we going to do it? See, that's where the rub is, right? That's where we go, practically speaking, how am I going to pull this off? Well, I got to encourage you guys that no matter what challenge, difficulty, confusion, frustration, or whatever you have to go through in order to get to the point where you can actually achieve that life of freedom so that you can be present in your kids' lives, it's worth it. And you've got to do it, like not just for your own sake, but for their sake. Literally, your life depends upon it. And not just your life either, your kids' lives depend upon this idea of being there in their lives. Because when you finally get to, let's just say, retirement, and let's just say that we all have this noble ambition inside of us where we want to secure the future, the financial future for our families, right? And that's noble, that's fantastic, and we should be working towards that. But if it requires us to be away, sacrifice our time away from our family, then we are not investing in a place that is going to reap the greatest rewards. The greatest dividends come from connection, and especially that connection, that special, unique, amazing connection that we have with our kids. Our kids, we don't get that time back, you guys. When you finally get to the check that box off, retirement age, get the Winnebago, and you think that now I'm going to establish that real, true, deep connection with my kids, you don't got that capability any longer. These are the years that matter, the ones that they're there with you at home. This is the time that's been given to you to figure this out. And I know it's daunting. It seems impossible. But guess what? Take a little apostrophe, put a space in there. I'm possible. You are possible. And it's definitely worth it. And in fact, you can't not do this, you guys. The regret that will consume your soul if you don't do this, if you don't find freedom now, it's gonna be too much for you. You can't handle it. I don't want to see you do that. Don't do it. I was living there. And I realized I could not die in a place like this. See, oftentimes people tiptoe their way through life hoping to arrive safely at death. That's Earl Nightingale. And it's absolutely true, but we don't even take account that arriving safely at death isn't even an option. That's not something that you can do. You can't pull that off, right? Literally, everybody is going to arrive at death in some unfortunate way. None of us are going to enjoy it. It's not going to be pleasant for anybody. Nobody signs up for that. You don't schedule your C-section and schedule your, scratch that thought. But, You guys, even if it was possible to arrive safely at death, what kind of life is that? That's timid and weak and shy, right? Because you've got power within you. The power, certainly the power, to ditch the daily grind, nix the 9 to 5, retire the rat race, kill the cubicle, destroy it all, and start doing something that you enjoy with your life, that you can be present in the lives of your family while it's happening, right? This is incredibly important, not something that you can just put off. I know that we often think that, oh, yeah, tomorrow I'll get to it. Tomorrow I'll get to it. What's happened over the last decade? Have you gotten to some of the things that you really wanted to get to? No. Why? Because we have to make a definitive commitment, a decision. It's the most brilliant power that any human being has, is the power to decide that today's the day to change everything. Not just change in a little way, change in a huge way, change in a dynamic way. And maybe that doesn't require doing a whole lot of stuff, right? You don't have, it's like we seem to think that it's this overwhelming thing that we can't do. All it is taking little bits of action and compounding them. Little bits of action every day compounded over a year. You will not even be able to discern where the heck you were when you started. Literally, if you and a fellow just like you started out the same point and you just aimed 2 degrees north and then you just went for, if you go for 10 feet, you can't even tell the difference. You're still touching the guy on his shoulder, right? You go maybe like, I don't know, 100 yards, and you can still see the guys right here. Hey, buddy, what you doing? But if you go a year down the road, you don't even know where that fella's at. That dude that you used to be, that lady that you used to be, that person that you used to be, that stuck individual running on the hamster wheel, never getting anywhere, running quickly and fast, feverishly to nowhere. That doesn't have to be you anymore, because today is a day that it changes if you decide that it changes. The decision is the thing that makes the difference. After that, it's the commitment to that decision. And once those actions are taken on that committed decision, there's nothing but inspiration. And when inspiration flows and momentum gets going, you can't even stop it. Even if you want to, you can't do it. Start today.